All right, everybody, let's get this started. This is our 7th all-worker huddle on this project. So I know a lot of you have already been here for these. I just want to take a second here. So this is something that I remember from my childhood. Middle school, 7th grade dance. Everybody's standing around the outside edges here, scared to go talk to somebody across the room to dance or whatever. I'm not going to make anybody dance in here, I promise. So we're working on clearing this space out so there's plenty of room for everybody to be all the way inside. There's plenty of room in here for everybody to be able to get in here, okay? So if people in the hallway can make their way in, come up to the front. That way you guys aren't behind me, so I can see when you're giving me the finger or something. We don't want that. All right, come on up this way. Come on up this way. All right. Okay, so I'm going to kick this off just like we always do. We have this all-worker huddle to go over 3 different concepts here. They're not really concepts. These are things that we actually have to do, okay? All right, number 1 is safety. Number 2 are overall logistics, things that are happening, key things, key dates that are happening on site over the course of the next week. And then last but not least, respect for people and facilities. All right? So here on site, everybody is aware, and even some of the new people are aware as they're being made aware when they show up on site. We've got 3 very, very important zero tolerance safety items. All right? The first one is going to be safety glasses. Everybody needs to have their safety glasses on their face at all times. At all times. Like I always say, I've got common sense, I understand, they fog up. That's fine. Take them off of your face, clean them off, and put them right back on. I understand we get hot, sweaty, we're going inside, outside, I get it. They fog up. That doesn't mean leave them back on your tool cart. We gotta have them, all right? So if you're up in the ceiling and you gotta take your safety glasses off or something, I don't know why you would do that, because there's all kinds of things up there that can poke you in the eyes, but keep them by you, clean them off, put them right back on. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is high visibility clothing. We have to have it on. There's so much happening on the outside of this building. We've got man lifts inside the building. We need to be as highly visible as possible, hence the name high visibility clothing. All right, so number 3 is ladder safety. Ladder safety is probably the highest recordable accident that we've had, all right? So we got to use the ladders as they're intended. That means when you're setting up to do an activity, you need to assess the situation and choose the appropriate ladder. So again, I did this a couple of weeks ago, but just in the last 2 days, we've had 3 people be sent home because they weren't using the ladder properly. All right, so the ladders, they're very specific. All right, an A-frame ladder is intended to be stood up just like this one right here. The only ways that you can work on this ladder, or any ladder in the A-frame shape, this is as high as you can go on this ladder. This is as high as you can go. We can't go to the next step or stand on top. I'll be careful. Thank you. I appreciate your concern. I appreciate you got my back. Thank you very much. So, if we have to get up higher than that, then we need to get a taller ladder or find another way of getting up to our work, okay? All right, so we had 2 incidents this week where somebody was using an A-frame ladder like this, leaning it right up against the wall, and then going up on the ladder. One of them was even turned backwards on the ladder. So those are all improper uses of that ladder. Anything can happen. Accidents happen in a fraction of a second. And that's the quickest way to do it, is to use the ladder incorrectly. Another ladder type that we can use, that we can lean against the wall, is a straight section of ladder or an extension ladder. This ladder you can use leaning up against the wall. Nobody's going to say anything because that's how it's intended to be used. It has adjustable feet to match the angle of the ladder. Perfect. That's what we're doing. All right? And some of you contractors have lean safe ladders, which can be used as an A-frame ladder or as a straight section ladder. That's the only special exception, I guess, because those ladders are designed for that. All right, so any questions on the zero tolerance safety items? I asked that because I went through this a couple of weeks ago and I bring it up every single week, but yet this week alone we had 3 people using the ladders incorrectly. So everybody has a conscience. When we go up on a ladder and we do any of those things that I just said are not acceptable, that should be a trigger in your brain. Wait a minute, this is going to get me sent home, this could get me hurt, I've got to rethink this. All right, so it's very, very important. We're not being mean, I promise you. Everybody would thank me for saying that if you got hurt. You're like, man, he was right. I got hurt because I didn't do the right thing. And for what? Save 5 minutes? Probably not. Probably not. All right, so enough about that. Again, we're always looking for these things. Everybody should have each other's back. We see people doing things that are not safe. Call them out. You don't have to be rude. You can just friendly say, hey, bud, we don't do that here. We wear our safety glasses. Hey, bud, we got taller ladders. All right? Hey, where's your high vis at? Just got back from lunch. Okay, go ahead and put it on. It's that easy. We don't have to be rude. We can very, very easily say these things, okay? All right, enough about that. All right, so this week, logistically, we've got some important things here today, especially. We've got some site visitors today. We've got some inspectors. We've got the owner's representative. We've got commissioning agents coming in. They're going to be walking around the building, taking pictures. They're going to be in the mechanical rooms. They're going to be in the electrical rooms. Very, very important. So we're putting our best foot forward. We're putting on a good show here. It's not really a show because it's what we're doing every single day. We're doing the right thing. We're doing our daily cleanups. Everything's looking fantastic. All right, so with the site visitors, we have inspections in the electrical room. We are going to be shutting down the building power at 11 a.m. today. So right at lunchtime. We talked about this numerous times in our foreman huddles in the mornings, but today at 11 a.m. we will shut the building power off. It'll be about 1 hour, and then we'll turn it right back on. So we got to get the inspections done. This is the last round of inspections for building power, so this is a big day. Number 2, also at 11 a.m., we're going to turn off the water. We've got some mechanical piping work really starting to fill and flush next week. So we've got to get this water work all ready to go. So today at 11 a.m. we're going to turn off the water. So you contractors that are using water, drywall finishers, floor polishing, floor tile, there's probably another, maybe the painters, get you some water ahead of 11 a.m. I'll send a message out to the foreman right around 10 o'clock reminding everybody of this. So get the water while you can ahead of 11 a.m. The water will be turned back on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So that's our duration right there. So plan accordingly with your water. Okay? In this build to scale lab, I mentioned last week that we're clearing it out. We're half as much as what we were last week in this space, and we're going to get the rest of the way there this week. The flooring contractor is going to come up here. This floor will all be nice and clean and sealed next week for our all-worker huddle. All right, so we're getting cleaner. We're getting more and more complete all the time. So appreciate everybody's efforts with making that happen. Materials and organization throughout the building. So it's awesome. It helps everything logistically. That means everybody can move about the building, be able to get to the areas where they need to work, and that's because everybody here is working so hard to get your materials organized, to get the areas cleaned up, and it's just like I said before, it's a breath of fresh air. You don't have to feel stressed about the environment being cluttered, people on top of people on top of materials that shouldn't be here yet. We're getting all that stuff addressed here, and it's a process. And I'm very proud of everybody here for partaking in that effort. All right? We added pallet jacks on every single floor. Every single floor at the freight elevator. We gave those pallet jacks a parking space. That really, really helps everything out. Appreciate everybody following the rules. You use the pallet jack, you take it back to the freight elevator. It's so beneficial for everybody to have that and not have to search for a pallet jack. It speeds up the freight elevator use, so logistically it helps everybody on the site. So I appreciate everybody paying attention to that. Again, we've got our stair work happening, the framing and the stairs. We're moving right into drywall here very, very shortly, so just be mindful of that. Appreciate everybody being respectful for those people that are working in the stairs. There's plenty of room to pass through there, so just kind of be aware of that, okay? About 1 week, we'll be opening up the southwest entrance again. So the excavation, the stormwater work is moving to the north. So this southwest entrance will be able to open back up once we get the backfilling done. So that helps us out logistically. It gives us another point of coming in and out of the building. All right, so logistically, that's all I've got for right now. So now we're going to cover respect for people. I've already done some of this right now by talking about how we're all doing our part with daily cleanup and organization. That's the best way to show respect for everybody here, because everybody here has a job to do. We are all one team. We all get it done together. Everybody here is so important to the job. So everybody being able to go in, do their work, leave the space clean, that's just so respectful, and I appreciate everybody doing that. All right. Another way that we can show respect for people is we've got a lot of veterans. When I say veterans, I mean like seasoned trade workers out here. We've got a lot of young people here as well. So you seasoned veterans, everybody knows who they are. I mean, it's our responsibility to mentor the next generation. Show them how we do the right thing, how we do things with pride and quality. He's eyeballing somebody. No, I appreciate this. I mean, when I see somebody that's experienced talking with somebody seriously and showing them the right ways to do things, that's an awesome show of respect and understanding that, hey, this guy right here, he's got my back, so I'm going to train him up the way that he needs to be trained up. So I really wanted to call attention to that. I've seen a lot of it here. It just gets better and better all the time. So that rounds out everything that I wanted to talk about. The break area seems to be going really well. We added another 40 chairs in there, so we've got 100 chairs. We got tables, we got microwaves, we got forks, spoons, napkins, hand sanitizer, all the amenities over there to keep the food out of the building. That also shows respect for our facility, because we don't want rats and possums and raccoons and stuff in the building. That's what happens when we start eating throughout the building. They'll get in, they'll find a way, and they'll eat in all the spaces where we're having breaks where we shouldn't be. So keep in mind, we don't want food up throughout the spaces. We're deep into finishes, flooring, painting. We're getting into ceiling tile and those things. We don't want food trash up in the building. So we've got that whole construction lab for everybody to take break in. If we need to add more chairs, we will. Very important. All right, so I appreciate that. Last thing, April 21st, in this room, we will have a safety stand-down construction lunch for everybody. All right, so 200 plus people on site. Everybody's going to be in here at 11 o'clock on the 21st. That's 2 weeks from today. Everybody's earned it. Everybody's working hard, working well together. It's awesome. So everybody deserves it. Again, thanks everybody for your time this morning. Let's kill this day. Let's go.
Yeah.